Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Anthony Stark, and I am joined by my fellow comrades, Steve Rogers,
Mr. Stark,
Donald Blake,
hello,
and Bruce Banner.
Smash!
Anyway,
Yeah, fuck this.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Hey, everybody! It's actually us.
Who knew?
Oh no, it's amazing, isn't it?
This actually is Steve Rogers, though.
Chris couldn't make it.
Yep.
He died from a terrible pegging accident.
Oh, good lord! Wow.
Look, he didn't use a safe word. I'm very sorry.
Let's not. Let's not. Good grief! Right. Hey,
We have all
everybody.
gathered here today.
assembled.
We have indeed.
You dickhead.
That's the second fail today. With the Avengers Christmas jumper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You had
He
a
did get the
perfect in for this.
He did get the mask, though.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Sammy says these are the guys that robbed that bank in Homecoming,
Yeah.
right?
Funny enough, Saf said exactly the same thing earlier when we discussed this at work.
Indeed. We are here, of course, to talk about the Avengers. Fuck you, Britain. It's not called Avengers Assemble. Never has been, never will be.
I really enjoy it because I watched this on Disney Plus, and it doesn't say Avengers Assemble.
It says the Avengers.
It says the Avengers, and I don't think I've ever seen it written like that before. And I just went, "That's better."
Agreed. Agreed.
Am I the only person that didn't actually know that wasn't a thing?
No,
As
I
in,
didn't.
So it's only called Avengers Assemble in the UK,
Really?
and that's because
Why?
there is another
Oh,
pre-existing
the Avengers.
thing
As
called
in the
The
TV
Avengers.
show. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and Disney,
I'm used to my one at home.
Paramount, etc., and Marvel just thought the British audience would get confused, so they changed
Oh, it's a bit like a Sorcerer's Stone sort of
exactly
situation.
that kind of situation.
Right.
Yeah.
However, the Americans are likely to get confused.
That is true.
Yeah.
I don't think Extreme Sports is here, so I got away with it.
That's our turn, man.
Who calls it Avengers Assemble?
No one.
Stupid
The UK.
British marketing companies. Everyone in Britain would just call it the Avengers because we're not American. And therefore, done. Anyway.
Right, shall we get on?
No.
No.
Let's keep abusing our colonial cousins.
I don't think I will. Released on the 26th of April 2012.
How is the camera still off center?
I don't know.
Maybe we're off center.
Yeah.
That's more likely.
It's not a problem for now.
No, it's not.
Released on the 26th of April 2012 with a budget of $220 million US
What
dollars.
a good day that was.
It was a great day. With a worldwide gross of $1,518,815,515.
Well, that's a profit.
Smidgen.
That is a profit of $1.3 billion.
Wow.
And I'd quite like that amount of profit.
Yeah.
Considering most of it came from me, I would like it back.
With that much profit,
to
you might be able to.
Cineworld 3 times.
Yeah, I saw this a number of
Therefore,
times.
It's all down to you.
$1.2 billion of that was my money.
Fair.
I would very
Especially
much
if you bought
like
a
it back.
popcorn.
If I bought a popcorn, the parent. If I bought popcorn, the parent company of Cineworld wouldn't have filed for bankruptcy.
But instead, you had to get your Butterkiss down at Asda.
Oh yeah, I just bring a pack of wine gums usually.
Yeah.
There's a joke there about him having his butter kissed. But
I knew.
I don't know what it is. I know it's there. I just can't find it.
Therefore, it's not there. But anyway,
Even Katie said woof to that.
let's go around the table. What are your general thoughts on this movie, Charles?
Yeah, this is great. It was really nostalgic watching this.
Good start. You're about to be sent home.
No, it made me feel fucking old. Really fucking old.
Well, 'cause
10
it's 10
years
years
old.
old.
It's
yeah.
10 years old. That's not that long.
Years.
It is.
It's long.
It isn't when you're 40. Shut up.
Your life.
It's a,
Yeah. It's a third of mine.
yeah. I don't. But
It's
it's just,
long. It's
Yeah.
long. It's a big
There we go.
time has
Old.
no meaning to me these days.
Yeah, it's really it's just a really good fun film. It brings together those characters, setting up the full MCU as we know it now so well. Up until say Endgame, as we know it just brings in together. It's got some really funny lines. I watched it with Lizzie, and she said to me that she felt that they weren't trying to put as many jokes in. I disagree. I actually think it was probably had a few more funny lines in than some of the more recent films. But yeah.
Is that through attempts or just failed attempts, though?
Oh, very good point. Very good point. Yeah.
Is that just none of the funny lines in the new films landed?
Tomb, shush. I love you, but go away. He was 8 when this film came out.
No.
No.
Wow. I've really enjoyed this film. I've not seen it in a very long time, actually. I've seen it enough, but like I was saying, Kristian earlier on, so I've probably done this show without watching it again because I know I've seen it that many times, but haven't seen it in quite a while. And yeah, it's just such a good setup, and they all look so young. All of them to me, I couldn't believe how young some of those actors looked. Even Samuel L. Jackson looks so much younger than he does now.
Almost 10 years younger.
Almost 10 years.
To be fair, this is their first world-ending level event, so they're probably not quite as stressed and aged just from having to save the world 1 billion times at this point.
Yes, grey hairs.
That is very true.
Because there'd definitely be a point for me if I was in the Avengers where when the next world-ending event comes, I'd be like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
This is meant to be. Let it.
Yeah.
I
don't think I'd be in the Avengers.
Neither would I, because I'd agree with most of the... Anyway.
I'm sorry.
I'd be like, suddenly, Thanos, do you need a hand?
I did say to Camilla, I think it was when I was watching this one, Loki was talking something about, I can't remember, something that he was saying. And I just went, why do I always agree with the MCU villains? Am I a problem?
That you crave subjugation?
Yes.
Quick aside before we proceed. What did you make the go live notification? Because I was obviously...
What did I put? I put something.
Did anybody see what the go live notification
the only go live notification I got was manage mobile dashboard.
Oh, I put the only quote I could remember at the time, which was you say peace, but I kind of think you mean the other thing.
Okay. I was going to suggest doth mother know you wear
that would have been better.
Yeah.
Great line.
But anyway, Rich.
Yes.
Thoughts on Avengers Assemble?
Really, really great. It's one of those things I was discussing with you the other day, but I hadn't actually watched back a lot of the other films in Phase 1, and actually kind of come into this. It was really good to actually kind of just embrace that whole Marvel, the MCU in general, and such a big event. And, you know, as Charlie says, you know, there's a lot of great jokes in there, a lot of the lines that Tony Stark says. It's just a very well-made film and well put together. I thought that, you know, everything holds up really well as well. So, yeah, I enjoyed rewatching it again.
Jolly good. Steve.
Oh, for pity's sake. Rich!
Now is not the time, Olga.
Fuck off, Olga.
Very different approach. I approve of it. What was the question?
How many people
yes.
in the chat are going to say Rich? Thank you, Sam.
General thoughts on the Avengers. Good lord, does this film take a leap? Like a huge sudden step up in quality in every sense from the films we have leading up to this in the first phase. It goes from, yeah, these are pretty good, jolly action films, to fucking hell. Like everything just, for me, instantly, as soon as the film opens up and just kicks off, and it doesn't really stop. I think it's really well paced. Even on many, many rewatches of the lesser talking bits are still really interesting and really well paced out. They managed to make the dialogue interesting. I think they do a really good job of having a lot of the dialogue between characters is really crucial information that you kind of probably already know if you have watched the other films, but given to you again so you've got context in case you haven't, but in a way that isn't just completely nonsense over-explaining exposition. It's all just quick. It would make sense contextually that they're saying these things to each other because a lot of these characters haven't met before, so of course they're going to be talking to each other and stuff. I think so much of it works so well. It's brilliantly paced, as I say. Great action sequences. I do think some of the humor and some of the gags don't quite land for me. There's a sequence in particular in the middle when they, just before they all first fight each other, when they've captured Loki, Thor lands on the Quinjet.
Yeah.
There's a couple of lines of dialogue there which feels a little bit forced. Like, for me, the whole thing is like, but we need a plan. It's like, I have a plan. Attack. Something about it just feels...
See, I like that.
I don't know what it is. Something about it just doesn't quite...
I agree, there are jokes in that. But to me, that's not a joke, obviously. That's just a line.
True.
But a lot of the jokes in that scene don't land.
Yeah, there's just a lot in that bit that doesn't quite land for me. But
It just keeps... It's my problem with High on Life and just Justin Roiland and anything. He'll make a joke and then keep going.
Yeah.
And it's like, you made a funny.
Now stop. Yeah, no, I
Zip.
agree. This film does that a few times, but not enough for it to be a huge problem.
No, not at all.
It's more like you can see the early signs of them working out still how to get the humor in, which later on I think they fix. They lose it again in some of the more recent stuff, but that's a different conversation for another day.
That is, Kevin wasn't present.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, and like it's also I don't think they even went wrong per se. They tried it. That's all you can do is try these things, and then they've probably gone. That didn't quite land like we thought we did. Okay, fine, bear that in mind going forward. So, but my God, there are some great moments in this film.
Oh my
Full
God,
stop.
yeah.
So many just like still ugly crying, like iconic. So like there's like 4 or 5 just iconic shots and sequences in this film, which really I think this film probably changed cinema in a lot of ways and changed what we have now in terms of films. Not even just in superhero movies, but there are so many other things and franchises and other mediums that are clearly
I think
influenced
the
by
big
this.
one is the one shot.
Yes. Oh, the fucking one shot.
The one shot in this, cream. B, like, since then, action movies will try and get in a one shot.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where 1917 is a one shot.
Yeah.
That whole movie. Well, it's not, but
No,
it's
they
made
make
look
it out.
like
I mean,
Yeah.
this isn't either. It's
No, obviously
composited
it's
together to make it.
It's a computer.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yes, Sammy, I want to praise Joss Whedon a lot for this film, but it feels bad to do that these days.
I was going to ask about that. Actually, I don't know what did he do.
He is a bit of a twat.
He's a bit of a sexual harasser,
Oh, like a sort of like a
type person, and cheating on his wife every single time, and all this stuff. Not a very nice person.
No.
Which is a big shame because obviously, he's brought some good stuff like and I know Katie will love this, but like Buffy. It's a great series for when it was and what it was.
He's good at what it does. He's just a twat.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people who are make extremely good things to entertain you who are arseholes.
Katie has also said essentially what I just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And has says winning separate artist and art for this one.
Bullying in the workplace. Was
Hannah's, but that's kind of what he did as well. He did that, but he also did it in a very overtly sexual way, as Gal Gadot will tell you.
Yeah, but wasn't it? I'm just trying to remember. There was one particular. Oh, it was. Wasn't it? The guy that played Cyborg. Wasn't there something really bad between them two?
That was also Zack Snyder as well, that was kind of just that entire production. But the one from Gal Gadot was in Justice League. There's a scene where there's a battle. Her and Flash fall down, and he was like insistent on the Flash had to land with his face in between her chest and everything. To the point where it's not Gal Gadot in that shot. She just refused.
Good on her.
Ezra probably fucking loved it, the creep, but
Yeah.
Oh, Ezra Miller.
And then went off and choked a child.
he hasn't Ezra Millered in a while.
Well,
Not we've heard of.
Well, yeah, that's
I'm
true.
sure he's been Ezra.
But anyway, that's enough of that. We're here to talk about
I was
the
gonna say,
Avengers.
Yes, we're
This
not
is
going
a
to
good
talk about
day.
the shit stig lead. What?
Yeah.
I couldn't try. I tried to work the
shit
word
stig
shit
league.
into Justice League. It didn't work.
Shit Stig League
Just
still
shit league.
that is better, but I would say Shit Stig League does work. It is correct. It is correct. But yeah, no, mate, this film outstanding. I think it's an easy watch as well.
Oh yeah,
it's just
my
so
God.
easy to
Oh
watch.
my God. Especially if you just watch like the last 50 minutes.
Yeah,
I could do that
and-
every day.
Yeah.
And it looks fucking beautiful, man. Like, oh my God. But again, opening sequence, I was just like, oh, this TV. Oh my God, it's so good. Such good use of colour throughout the entire film.
definitely.
And it's filmed in a proper aspect ratio. So I'm going to say it now. Done. There you go.
It's weird because the next one in the MCU to come out filmed in this aspect ratio was
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
I know.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that really weird?
You know, they decided to skip over Age of Ultron.
Yeah. No, fucking weird. And it's the same director, isn't it? Age of Ultron. Isn't that Joss Whedon again?
Yes.
Yeah. So what?
I don't understand.
Bizarre.
I don't understand. And then Infinity War and Endgame were shot in said aspect ratio, but weren't allowed to be released because IMAX said no. I was like, why do you ever say?
Why would they want to do
You
that
are
anyway?
a camera manufacturer.
Insane, isn't it? It's just insane.
Yeah, manic. But anyway, yes. My general thoughts on this film is fucking excellent from start to finish. There is
I'd have been a bit shocked if you said, "Oh, I thought it was
very.
rubbish."
Yes, this is a solid 2.
It's fine.
There is very little, if not entirely, nitpicks to say in the negative context about
Yeah,
this
I
movie.
definitely have a few.
Oh yeah, there are some, but they are nitpicks. Like I have to find something to say. Therefore, I don't like your hair. But just
I
that
quite like your hair.
Thank you. I had it cut.
Yeah, I
That-
thought it looked good.
Did make my ears cold.
the Battle of New York is just phenomenal
It's great.
Yeah,
isn't
isn't it?
from start. You just know, like especially on a rewatch, as soon as you see the bit where the Iron Man and the Quinjet fly off from the helicarrier, you're like, fucking settle in, undo your pants. You know it's true.
Because you
Well.
gotta be intaking a lot. Matt says, Chris, you have the same t-shirt as me. Happy Sithmas.
This is Merry Sithmas.
Fuck.
it? Reading the thing.
It doesn't bode well for later.
No.
But I just,
You love this film.
yes, I do.
I do.
It's hard to argue.
It's
with this
been
movie.
noticeable that you've been a happier Jack in the last 2 days
Just
since
because
watching
you've watched
it.
Entirely possible.
The glee that he had on his face when he told me about the masks earlier was like,
Because I'd forgotten that I had done it. Until this morning, where I saw. I
That's
was,
lucky.
yeah.
Because you're the sort of person that would have done this a while ago, forgotten
forgot.
until 3 weeks' time after we've done this, and find them and go, oh, I did the thing.
I would have just saved it for Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Although that's going to, with Christmas in the way, that's in like 9 months. But that's not how Christmas works. But
Just say, we're not
Feels
having a
like a
child
free sale.
in that time.
I've forgotten what I was saying.
that you love this film.
Oh yeah, no, I was just getting ready this morning, and then I saw an unopened Amazon package on my bed. On my
Right.
bed, on my desk. It's just been there for weeks. I've been sleeping with the package on my desk. I was like, oh, and I was really happy.
A horrible pillow.
Stiff.
Pillow. Yeah. I just ordered a pillow and I never opened it. I just started using it. Hence why I've been, oh man.
I'd have to admire that level of laziness.
Yeah.
Why you being over to open a pillow out of its package?
You know, after a few days when you've dented in the cardboard, you're lying on the pillow anyway, so saves you having to wash the pillow.
Yeah,
you
your
know?
dribble will erode away at the cardboard slowly and break
Yep.
it down for
Yeah,
you.
better for the environment, not throwing away cardboard. Well, recycling cardboard.
Anyway.
But anyway, this movie's real good. It looks real nice. It's all pretty in the action, and then you get the twang and the twang.
Tong.
And the iconic line of "You want me to put the hammer down," which was my text tone for about 4 years.
No, right, okay. So we've got to give a shout out, I think, to. I'm sorry for saying shout out. I know you hate that phrase, but
Shut up!
We've got to Samuel Jackson in this movie, who I think has some of the best lines in the history of cinema in this film.
I'm aware you've made a decision, but given us as a stupid ass decision, I've elected to ignore it.
Fucking brilliant.
But I even love just $10 says you're wrong. Like,
Mate, that whole thing, that's so good. That's that real simple. It's like $10 says you're on, and they don't really like mention it.
no, they never
And
not
then
at all.
after you have the fucking helicarrier thing, which by the way in itself still fucking excellent. That whole sequence of like, oh, is this a submarine? It's like
Yeah.
they want me in a fucking till can, like 10,000 leagues under the sea, whatever it is, and then it just takes off. And that whole shot's real cool. And then you literally just get the next shot is Cap just walks past Nick Fury, just hands him $10. Like,
I just love when the propellers come out and Mark Ruffalo's like, "Oh no, that's much worse."
oh yeah, yeah. There's loads of it. Loads of just great little lines, just really
Well, it's
quick
like
clips.
when Stark says his first name is Agent.
Yeah.
About
that's
Coulson.
good.
I just love that one.
That's another sequence where there's loads there though. There is so much going on in that scene of, you know, I thought his first name was Agent, and even the thing where like he gives him the document and he's just like, I don't like being handing things, which is just a little throwback to Iron Man 2, which just makes sense. Like it's attention to detail that they had in this era down to a fucking T. Just all these tiny little bits of attention to detail. It's real good.
It's also that's one of my things. My brain has never been able to wrap my head around. I don't like being handed things, other than from Pepper. What?
It's your spouse, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It wasn't at the time. It is in this one, but at the time it wasn't. But
Yeah, but he wanted her to be. He had already
yeah,
chosen.
I know.
Her.
It's just really strange. It's a weird thing, a weird quirk to have. I like it, but it's a very strange quirk to have.
I imagine it's not actually a quirk. It's just him being difficult, isn't it?
Oh yes, I imagine so. Yes.
And I've seen weirder quirks in people than that. There's some weird people out there. We know a guy who had a phobia of ketchup.
That's true.
That is absolutely 100%
And
true.
Gwyneth Paltrow said her only mildly funny line in her entire career.
Which was?
I was having 12% of a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she just made a vagina candle.
Yes.
It's a very weird
It
career
is-
trajectory.
It is really
That was
weird
her
to me.
real baby.
Every time I see Gwyneth Paltrow on TV, I always immediately think loads of people know what her vagina smells like. That's weird.
Or what? Loads of people know what she thinks.
Yeah,
her
yeah,
vagina
yeah.
smells like.
Oh, the close approximation of what they can make it smell like.
In wax
You
form.
mean she hasn't just? Like,
Toom doesn't like ketchup, just
you mean she
FYI.
you mean she didn't?
He's not
just get
scared of
every-
it, though.
Yeah, but it's not exactly, yeah.
I'm not gonna make the joke. It's fine. It's not
Good.
worth it.
Good.
No,
Let's leave
sorry.
it there. What you said about obviously the fact that it was such a great attention to detail at that point, and obviously how good the whole universe was at that point in terms of the MCU. It's one of those things that then I did get reminded of obviously now where we're at now, and we have She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just that.
Thanks for bringing it down, Rich.
I know exactly, but it really really irritated me after watching it on Disney Plus and getting that thing, and I know you got it.
Suggested She-Hulk.
I know you got it, and I don't know whether you
Suck a
guys
bag
got it,
of
but
dicks.
yeah. If you like this, you might like She-Hulk. No!
If you like this and then watch She-Hulk, you may want to
And
find
Scared
your
of Babies,
nearest
we have
cliff.
discussed that before.
Those things never work, though, do you? Like this, I can remember them
Sometimes.
Oh, well,
Most of the time it's been working.
Yeah.
I watch Iron Man, it
But-
goes, you might like Iron Man too.
Oh, on Disney Plus, yeah, but I'm not just talking in general. Then it goes, like I find YouTube gets it wrong. And PlayStation Store, I think I just finished I don't know, it was like Ghost of Tsushima, and it was like, because you play Ghost of Tsushima, you may like Goat Simulator.
Well, that's
I mean-
because the PlayStation Store is paid for. That's what that's it.
Yeah, true.
And
yeah.
also,
It's not
Ghost
actually
Simulator's an alright game.
algorithm-based.
Disney Plus has done a really good job for me, where I've got a list which is put on there, which is recommended to watch next,
And it's just MCU?
in the correct order. Yeah, and it's like,
Really?
yeah,
That's
like,
quite cool.
This is
Very
good.
cool.
This
It's
is
really-
this is real
'cause
handy.
It's also just like the next one just moves to
Yeah,
the front.
Yeah, it knows.
Yeah.
It knows what I'm doing. It knows what I'm doing, and
That's
it's prepped
clever.
for me, and I'm
Yeah,
happy about
mine's doing the same.
Yeah.
Mine's doing
That's
the same.
cool.
It's
it.
great.
Good stuff. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
It's very handy. It's like I'm gonna have to go to the Marvel page and scroll down for
Nope.
things, and then just new to you, or not new to you, but
Yeah.
up next.
I mean, my what you might like next is generally filled with things like Body of Proof and all that stuff, just because I'm still watching Castle
No,
again.
that's fair. That's fair. So I was going to say with this film, we were talking about how it sets everything out really well and how it's really well paced. There's a lot I could say about this film and just go into town on. I think the film opens really well. And I think the film generally opens brilliantly with just like a couple of characters that we know. And then obviously like the mystery of thing, like what's going on here, and Barton coming in and just giving us a bit more of Barton and starting to characterize him out quite early on of who he is, and he's quite clever and switched on. I think that's really important they do that, considering all we've seen of Barton is just a few throwaway lines in Thor. And then within the first 5-10 minutes of this, he's flipped to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I think they do a really good job of just in those opening moments with him, just giving him enough to do and enough to say, which is relevant to the overall plot, that makes sense, where you know, like, oh, this guy is actually quite important and quite smart, and it's going to be a real asset to Loki to have him, and it's going to hurt the Avengers to not, and they setting that up that it makes sense they want to get him back, because otherwise the whole thing of like we need to save Barton, we need to get Barton back on our side,
It's
is
not
like,
going to be important.
why? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like,
Yeah.
And I think they do just it's so small, but just a simple thing of him working out that it's a door is just enough, I think, to make just to like, okay, cool, this guy's they get it. I get why this guy's important, and I do think it's really interesting as well. This must be a deliberate decision where the characters in the opening sequence of the film that you see, that you know very specifically, the characters you see that you know in the opening sequence from the film are only from Thor. Mm-hmm. So you've got Loki,
Okay, yep.
Coulson, you see, Hawkeye, and Zelvig and Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So the only characters in the opening sequence that we know, because this is the first time we see Maria Hill, and they're only from Thor. And then as you start getting introduced to the other characters, then you start getting introduced to some films from like those films as well. They kind of bring each one in, so you get Cap introduced, and then you get Hulk introduced, and
I
Iron Man
really like the
introduced.
way that they actually have each of the sections. Of
Yeah,
kind of
just
going,
the
right,
little
this
introduction to each
this
character and where
Really
they're
clever.
at after we
Yeah,
last
what they've
saw
been
them.
doing. Yeah.
I think it's very, very well
And
done.
I think again they do some great stuff with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Some really good stuff with his, just Mark Ruffalo in general, in his dialogue in the opening sequence, but throughout the film of just really actually hammering home that this is the same Hulk. By the way, we know it's not, but
Yeah.
it is the same Hulk.
He talks about the alternate ending for the Incredible
Yes,
Hulk.
he does.
Alternate opening, sorry, for the
Yes.
Incredible Hulk. Him shooting himself in the mouth, essentially, is the alternate opening for the
I
Incredible
didn't know
Hulk.
that. That was just something that happened off camera. That there we go. Just telling us about. Did not know that it was an alternate opening.
Technically both.
Yeah, yeah.
On and off camera.
yes.
I didn't know that either.
But there's loads of little bits like that, just really subtle kind of cues of like this is the same Hulk from that film. Again, I think they did it really well.
What a shame they didn't bring Liv Tyler back. Anyway.
The introduction to Nat in this,
Yep.
fucking excellent.
It's
She's
great,
got the
isn't it?
best introduction of the whole fucking movie.
Idiots telling me everything. What do you want?
And then the guy's just like, I'm not saying
What?
anything.
As a good, I do feel though, and not that it's bad, but I do feel other than that scene, this is the weakest outing for Black Widow.
Yeah,
And I think that's just because there's so much more going on, and I've always felt until later where they really kind of up her
I think
game
they-
and like
yeah.
put her importance to the team in a different place.
Yes.
She just feels unimportant.
That's I was gonna say that because
But
her
they-
kind
yeah.
of whole focus of this is really about her focus is really about Barton.
Yes, yeah.
That's why she's there
Mm-hmm.
because like she's not even like I'm busy, and then it's like Barton's compromised. Oh, never mind, I'm gonna come help then. And her whole thing is about getting Barton back to the point where when that fight happens on the helicarrier, her focus is Barton and saving Barton and sorting Barton out.
Hannah's just said, having gone through the rest of the MCU, I cared more about Hawkeye this time, and Kate
Yeah.
said the same.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I'd agree.
I mean, I've said for a long time.
I've
said it on the show.
always liked Hawkeye.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
always liked Hawkeye.
I've
I think
never
Hawkeye
been that fond of him until the
I
series.
think he is an incredible character, and I think he's a really important character to the way the team
Yeah.
dynamic works.
I think for me, from Age of Ultron on, I was like, oh, yeah.
Age of Ultron is
Yeah.
Ultron is Hawkeye's movie, but
yeah. It's basically a Hawkeye movie, I would say, to be
Yeah.
honest. But even in this, he's good because when he comes back, for lack of a better term, like the way they use
Cognitive
him in it.
recalibration.
Yes,
I hit you really hard in the head.
but they use him really well, and then his relationship with Nat works really well within the rest of it. And like I said, he becomes a really important asset. He does a lot to pretty much win them the fight in that.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't have done it as easily without him in that last sequence.
Sammy put in, I think it was Sammy. Yeah, the Avengers have never won a battle without Hawkeye.
Yes,
That's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
I think he's a really important character. But I think you're right about what you're saying about Black Widow. But I do think what she does do in this, I still think she's great. We spoke about this briefly the other week when we were talking about like horror sequences within the films, and we used the Hulk chasing her through, and the whole sequence of Hulk in the helicarrier as a sequence that's kind of
The horror-y aspect was in particular just after he changed.
After he
with,
changed.
with Nat in the
Yeah. her performance in that section is fucking excellent. By the way,
You can-
like
yeah, you
when
can tell she's scared.
The bit when they're lying down and she just looks over and sees start changing. She's trying to talk to him. Like the genuine fear that you can kind of see is real good. Great acting. Good acting all around from everyone, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's got a weak performance in this.
Oh,
No.
One character that surprised me, and it's kind of a shame that she's not a bigger thing, but Maria Hill, Kobe Smulders, I think is a good character, and I think she's just a really kick-ass character.
I think the problem with Kobe Smulders' character is just that, again, they don't give her anything to do, as opposed to the character not being interesting.
because when she's actually
Yeah.
sort of doing like the action sequence when she's driving.
no.
When she's driving out from while it's all
a magnet
imploding and stuff. That doesn't magnetize. when she's doing the escape. It's really well played, and there's a lot of, and she's really kick-ass when she's just sort of shooting, and it's good action from her. But obviously, again, that's kind of it. But she's not a very well-known character. She is a small part in the MCU in general. So,
yeah, they've never really given her much of a focus.
No, well, I mean, granted, I've not obviously read all comics and everything, but
I meant in the MCU.
Oh, in the MCU, yeah. But as in, I don't think she's that big a character in Marvel. But yeah, maybe Sammy can prove me wrong.
She's very heavily involved in anything to do with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, yeah.
So
Is
when
she big in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that kind of thing? Is she?
No, but that's because they couldn't afford it, I imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's MCU adjacent. So she
Yeah,
does show up from time to time, but so
would've-
does Samuel L. Jackson.
That would have been just coming off of How I Met Your Mother.
I think
I
it was
suppose so.
during.
Oh, was it? Yeah, okay.
I can't remember when that ended, but that show went on for about 50 years.
Yes, it
so
did,
I don't know.
50 years longer than it should have done.
Oh, yeah. That is true. That's true. Yeah, I've never liked Maria Hill.
Oh, really?
I've never liked Kobe Smulders is the problem.
Oh, really?
I don't know what it is. It's just something feels really forced about Maria Hill. I just don't know what it is. Something about her. Like, never disliked it to the point where I don't ever have a problem with her showing up. But it just, I don't know. Just feels really weird.
It's
And
significant
it
for you.
is kind of odd that they've never given her anything to do. Like she's
Because she keeps turning up.
Yeah, she's just present most of the
Yeah,
time.
am I right in saying she's one of the ones that's been impersonated by a Skrull alongside Nick Fury in?
I think
in-
it's indicated that that's the case in
in Far From Home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's her and Fury. yeah.
Sammy says that she hasn't really done much apart from when she became the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. after Fury left / died.
Yeah, she was always involved, but she was never like a main character or anything like that.
No. Fair.
I'm going to move to my next favourite bit of this film now. The first inklings of the team ups we start getting in this straight away is real cool.
yeah.
So obviously it's like we're going to go get Loki. We've got Cap. Cap's just on board because he ain't got nothing else to do, and he's like, yeah, I'm a shoulder, whatever.
He's a shoulder
He's a shoulder.
to cry on.
There you go. Should put it this side so it's more visible for the comedy.
Not the Vision. He comes later.
Oh right, he does when he meets Elizabeth Olsen.
Hey!
Who wouldn't?
I absolutely.
I'm not sure he can he? They've never actually.
No,
No, they've not explained it.
They've got children.
They clearly do not.
Anyway.
Oh dear. Anyway, Cap goes to Berlin. The whole thing with Loki there is really good. Good scene. Loki's great. I didn't say it, but I do think Loki's excellent in this film.
Yep.
Fucking great in this film, I
Yeah.
think. But this whole thing of like Cap's about to go down with him. I beg your pardon. Cap's about to like.
A mirror.
At least you said with, not
Yes.
on.
Cap's about to suck off Loki, and then the PA gets taken over. AC/DC. Stark comes flying in. I like that as well when he just comes in. He just turns down. He's just like, Captain.
Yep.
Mr. Stark. And then it lingers on the shot of the two of them standing next to each other for a moment. Mm-hmm. Which, again, I think is a really important conscious decision because it's just that, like, yes, you are looking at Captain America and Iron Man on screen together and in a Marvel movie. Like, that is what you're seeing right now. And just lingers on it for a moment. And it's just that little tease of where it's going and they're coming together and they're coming together. Which, of course, by fucking 2019, whenever it was, is outstanding. But already here, it's just like, this is fucking cool. It's just, I think, if you had to sum up this word, it's just fucking cool, innit? If you had to sum up this film in a word,
I love
cool.
in that particular sequence when the elderly German guy just like, no,
Yeah.
I've seen this.
Yeah.
This has happened before.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I thought
what
it
Cap
was really
says.
well
isn't
done.
it?
Yeah,
Last time I
exactly.
was in Germany and there was a man standing above everybody else. We ended up disagreeing.
Yeah.
That was a very polite way to say I punched Hitler.
See, that's the other, I think the other thing they do well in this film, actually, because we Cap last week and we were saying he's kind of straight edged and they kind of fix him quite quickly. But I actually, watching it back, I think it kind of happens over the course of this film of him becoming a little bit less straight edged as it goes on, just a little bit more comical as the film goes on.
Spending time with Stark. That's
Yeah,
what
but
it is.
it is. It's spending time with Stark, but it's spending time with that team and finding a team of people that, although on the outside, which is the whole point of the whole thing, on the outside they're not, they're all a bit dysfunctional. But actually, when you bring them together and if you can make them work together, which is Nick Fury's whole thing. He has the speech about that, and I think that that's also clear in each character's development. But Cap's is in how he becomes so much less straight edge, so much less like by the book by the end of it, and just starts trusting and starts working with them and starts relaxing almost as well. It's
it goes from that to that is America's ass.
That happens in a fair few films. I just mean in this film alone.
Sorry, I thought you meant overall. Sorry.
I just mean this film alone. You can see the process just from the start to beginning, where he's still real straight edge. And
the first moment is I did.
Yes,
I understood that reference.
What I really, really like about them building their relationship as well is that we do, and we'll talk about this later, obviously, but the New York fight, we get one of the most sort of memorable team up sort of visions of them two together in that as well, but as in the two of them doing the
Stark and
Cap basically doing the shield blast.
Yeah,
and
cool.
I can't remember what it's actually referred to as in like the comics or anything, but it's something very specific that it is a known move that they put into this film that was absolute on to the graphic novels and comic books in general, of using Cap shield to then redirect Stark's blast.
Matron.
Good night, everybody.
There's loads of fucking sick team up moves in this film. I do think they missed one though, and they haven't really ever come back to it because they set one up which never ever gets come back to, and it's always annoyed me. So you then get to the thing where they all start fighting each other in the woods. So after Thor comes and takes Loki, Stark goes off after him. They have a bit of a fighting back and forth. There's some great lines there. Doth mothers know, wherever it is.
Yeah.
What was it? What's the line?
Doth
Mother
mother
know you weareth her drapes.
Yes, that one. There's a lot of great stuff. Good fight sequence anyway. And it's kind of like, that whole thing for me is very similar to the Iron Man and War Machine one in Iron Man 2. But just sort of taken up a level, and then obviously, taking up a level more with these other characters now coming together, and it's just great seeing Thor coming in, but seeing that they're all kind of matched, and they kind of do that whole sequence, because it just ends with them going, okay, this isn't going to go anywhere, is it? Because they all come in, they're all just beating each other, and they very quickly go, this is pointless. And I think that's a great choice. Oh, we're putting a little bit of footsie under the table. I think that's a great choice. Again, just that point, they will be a good team because they're matched. Like, it makes sense that they're gonna work together, because there isn't one that's obviously better than the other.
Best team up move though is when Hulk is standing right next to Thor and punches him
Oh,
left.
that's hysterical. Isn't that a call back to the comics or something?
Well, that was just a reference to the fact that obviously Thor fought him earlier on the helicarrier, so Hulk doesn't like him very much.
But also I do believe that is a comic book thing. From memory, I can't remember.
I've never
specifics
seen it.
on
I know
but
they made jokes about it from this movie.
Yeah.
In like comics and Lego Marvel superheroes.
In that forest fight, though, they do a thing with Iron Man and Thor, where Thor like lightnings him, and then Iron Man takes a moment, and then Jarvis is like, suit power at 400%.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. But that to me is like that felt like they were foreshadowing a moment later on of like something needed to happen later, and he was like, I needed more power, and then Thor or Point Break zap me, and then power him up 400%, boom. Like, it's weird to me that that's never ever come back round, because for me, I think that's an obvious.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Say again, sorry.
It's in Endgame. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
How do I not remember that? I believe you. I just don't remember.
There were so many amazing things.
That's probably why.
In the end fight, I remember the shot like perfectly. He has the axe and the hammer.
He does
that.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like that weird fan thing
Yeah.
coming off of his back and does the big gun.
I remember.
okay.
Yeah.
He probably, I think it's like something he's
weird
adapted.
spinny thing.
He's like,
Yeah, I
he's
do
like a
remember.
conductor. He's adapted to take in.
God, that film's
like,
fucking outstanding. I can't wait to do that one.
Again, we've already done it where we gushed, but
but that was like an instant. We had seen it for the first time the day before. Now I've seen it countless times and have many ejaculates later. Can talk about it much more clearly.
Captain America's blast.
Yeah.
Oh man, God, it's special, isn't it?
This whole thing is special up until that point.
Again, so you're just getting those little builds, and then when you finally get to, I think, because you don't get the full final team up until the Battle of New York. Mm-hmm. So when the helicarrier gets invaded, they all kind of go off together, and they all have their own little things together, which again I think is really important. I think they chose who went off with who really well.
Science bros. I remember that becoming a bit of a meme.
Oh, of Stark and
Banner,
those two on the deck together when they're chatting and just trying to work everything out. Really good as well. Some really good sequences in there.
Finally, someone who speaks English. Is that what just happened?
Also, the bit where he just pokes him,
Yes,
just pokes
yeah.
him with a screwdriver.
What I love about this movie is they kept Downey just kept stealing a bag of blueberries that wasn't supposed to be there. He just wouldn't put them down.
Yeah, he
And
offers one to him, doesn't he?
So that
He's
bag of
eating
blueberries, he kept taking them from catering and hiding them on the set and just eating mid thing. And they just basically got to the point where they couldn't stop him. So just fucking let him do it.
So the whole I love
know
it, just
nothing of
the
it.
offering Mark Ruffalo a blueberry and just not a character break at all. Just carrying on, just like. Yeah.
Tom Felton
actors.
kept doing that on one of the Harry Potter film sets. And
Did you say Tom Holland on the Harry
No,
Potter?
Tom
Felton.
Felton.
I see.
And to a point where apparently the rumour goes where there's a bit where him and Harry pull wands on each other and he pulls out a Snickers. And then they set that, and from that point onward, they sewed up the pockets in his robe. They're like, no.
I think that's
can't
quite as good as leaving it in the movie.
No.
And just going with it. But
That
it's-
would
I
have
don't
been
think
very
that-
funny.
get
though,
out
just
with
like-
Snickers for Nicky.
It sounded like you said a Snickers panini, which sounds horrible.
That's what you said as well.
What did you say?
I quite
It
fancy
combines
Snickers
Snickers
panini.
with the.
Yes. Snickers panini.
By the way, Hogwarts Legacy, I'm going to be a twat.
yeah.
Kedavra is the first thing.
Oh,
I wanna
yeah,
follow.
yeah.
I want to murder
You
everyone.
can just kill people.
Yeah.
And it's an insta-kill.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a long cooldown on it, they said.
Yeah.
But it's an insta-kill.
3
You
years.
other students.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't, well, they haven't said if you
I reckon you can.
kill
I
other
reckon you can
students.
terrorize. I intend to terrorize Hogwarts.
Merely,
yeah.
I disagree purely because small tangent. Purely because I don't think Warner Brothers would want you to be
That's
doing that
true.
in their biggest IP in the
God,
universe.
man, I'd just destroy Hogwarts if I could.
I'm
Yes,
going to
exactly.
make Nagini look like motherfucking tourism.
I would make Harry Potter's birth impossible. But anyway, Avengers.
Listen to me.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know what happened, but I didn't hear what he said, so I missed
That was a very good joke. He said, That was a good joke. That was a good joke.
Thank
For
you.
some reason, the save clip button isn't working.
Oh
Someone get on it. Don't make weird Nagini head tie.
What?
no. Okay, we won't.
Okay, I wasn't gonna.
Now you put the idea in his head.
No, I don't feel weird.
Give it a
No.
week and the Discord will be closed.
Ban.
Anyway, so on the helicarrier fight,
Yes.
the whole sequence when they're starting to argue as well and they're working everything out, and that I think that sequence is great because the camera is like a one shot there, just panning between them all bickering with each other, and some
Yeah.
really good little throwaway lines in that, and the tension building between them.
I did love the it had a grudge match that leveled a small town. I was like, 3 windows. Bro.
Yeah. It was probably the least destructive film out of any of them, as far as like damage.
Iron Man 2 was way worse, yeah.
I do really like the whole put on the suit, and then like bang bang bang, put
on
on the
the
suit,
suit.
yeah. And then like, but there is that thing as like Stark's put himself up and like Cap's helping him up and helping it like quick. Like there's just these clear stuff where it's like they're turning on like we need to work together now, so we're gonna stop bickering. We just need to, so let's just do it. But I think again, an important and clever decision to have Cap and Stark go off together to solve what they need to do together, and they've just got to work as a team, and they just do. Which obviously you don't see Stark working as a Stark doesn't work as a team.
Yeah.
And now we're suddenly seeing it. And it's just like you're seeing this friendship, this bromance kind of thing, and just this inkling early on, like this can work. I
And
think it's
also
real
the
good.
idea that he starts growing because obviously, Cap has already said you wouldn't sacrifice yourself.
Yeah,
And then
you're
he
not the one
goes,
to make the sacrifice.
I'm
Bray.
sacrificing myself by starting this blade, the fan.
Yeah,
going,
already he's getting in and
Yeah.
doing it. And then by the end of it, he's quite.
That is very on the nose by the end of it, obviously.
yeah, but
yeah.
but it's also at that point he's just like this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I will.
He didn't
do
even
it.
think about it, yeah. He was
Yeah.
just like, this is what needs to be
Yeah,
done.
it wasn't. I'm gonna make myself look good by doing this.
No, this was
is
just,
literally
this needs to
I
be
need
done.
to be done. Yeah, it needs to
Which
be done.
isn't something that ever goes away for Stark. There is always that this needs to be done, as we absolutely know. But
Wow, that was loud.
I think I sound like a frog having a hiccup.
That's what I am.
Which begs the question: how the fuck do you know what that sounds like? Can frogs even hiccup? Who knows?
Research.
I was going to make a joke of saying, call me Kermit, but hiccuping in the middle, but I knew I would have fucked it up, so I just explained it to you anyway.
Sammy says bless you, by the way.
Thanks.
But yeah, who goes off of who? Because obviously,
So obviously you got.
Oh, Nat ends up with
yeah.
Barton, which again makes sense. Needs to. Hulk and Thor fight,
Yeah.
which again good fight. It makes sense. Have those together. Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah. Also, I love that. Like originally, Thor comes into that fight quite tame. He's like, Banner, think like we're not your enemies. He gets punched to shit, and then he's like, all right, fuck
All
it.
right then.
that shot of just him standing there waiting for it,
Yeah,
and then just
perfect
grabs,
timing.
spins and back. It's great. And then Hulk trying to catch the hammer.
Yeah,
like,
that's brilliant.
God, it's good, man. This is a fucking film and a half.
It really is. It really is, and it just.
It's funny because obviously it was going quite late into the night, whatever night we watched it, and it's just like we could leave it here and then watch the last 45 minutes or so, and then what we got.
It's just for some reason it's asking for my Google password.
But yeah, it was then sort of could watch the remaining 50 minutes or whatever it was the following night. I was just like, nah, why not just watch the rest of it? Just carry on. It's fight, New York fight. Let's go. So yeah, it just keeps you interested throughout.
Oh, it really does. That last 50 minutes is just.
Before that, though, I do think they make the biggest mistake of the movie.
Which is
They kill Coulson.
well,
I'd say
but
it's the
it needs
biggest
to
mistake
happen.
of the fucking franchise.
Yeah.
Agreed. He comes back 6
Yeah.
months later, but
I wondered
How's it
sort
going
of.
How's it
Agents
going?
of Shield.
there is a whole
right.
TV series about that.
Yeah, Agents
Okay.
of Shield
I've not seen
basically.
it.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fucking watch Agents
Okay.
of S.H.I.E.L.D., man.
So they somehow bring him back to life in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Too off. It's a whole thing. But
Yeah, it's
they-
a whole thing. I've
It's
not
a
actually
plot
watched
point
all
of the show, so we
It
won't go
basically
into it.
takes the entire series to fully explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good 3-4 seasons, yeah.
It is good.
As they kind of say, the team needed it to.
Oh, yeah. It
But pull together.
needs to happen.
Yeah.
So,
Doesn't mean it should.
Yeah.
He's a good character.
It's just, I think he's a great character.
Also
Every
just
time he's
don't
on
think
screen.
It did. I don't think it did need to happen to pull the team
yeah,
together.
no, obviously that's what they sort of
Because-
summarise it as.
I mean, Bruce had never met the man before. Cap had known him for about 8 minutes.
Yeah, but that was that whole hero
But-
worship.
Yeah.
He realised just how important he was to.
Yeah,
some-
I
I
know,
think that's
but-
what it is. Coulson is so active in this movie, in the early bit of them first coming
Yeah.
together, and he's kind, he's positive, he's got this strong attitude about doing the right thing, and he respects them all. And I think none of them see a bad or negative side to Coulson, because there isn't one. Like, he's just a good man, and I think they all just get that and see that early on because of the way he behaves with them. And yeah, and like Sammy's saying, yeah, like, your bickering cost this man his life, and I think they're just aware of that. They're like, we've done this. This was just a good man that that respected us all, wanted to do the right thing, just wanted to help, just a good guy, and our bickering did this. So I do think it is important in the same, but it's the whole thing of like Fury realizes that he can use that and goes and gets his card and says it was in his jacket.
Yeah,
just
and
to,
bloodies it up.
just to make a point. But what was that? To be fair to Fury, you could have just lied and pretended Coulson had died. For a man we hadn't seen that much of, I was really sad when he died. I didn't know he was going to Tahiti. Yeah, I mean, I would say that because of the second part of your sentence, technically Fury does pretend he died.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Tahiti is a magical place.
We were watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when Animal Crossing came out. So Camilla's Animal Crossing Island is called Tahiti.
Oh, really?
You said saying Tahiti, I'm just thinking Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, you need to. You need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'd like to, yeah.
It's one of those
it's
things
on my
that
list.
I do need to get through all of it because I know a good chunk of what supposedly happened. I was relatively close.
Off to the side. It's not that type of movie.
Yeah, but I'm facing it.
Not quite how it works, but I get it.
So certainly. So I know sort of some of the stuff, but I don't know everything of what supposedly happened. But yeah.
I just want that Ghost Rider in the movies.
Fitz. I just want Fitz in the
Yeah,
movies.
I really feel like they missed a beat in Infinity War. Just in the middle of the battle for Wakanda, just have a quintet show up and it's just them.
Yeah.
That'd have been sick. That'd have been sick.
Would have been,
Bit of Quake,
yeah, would have been a good time. Would have been a good time.
Anyway,
Could have taken that movie from a 10 to 11, couldn't it?
yes, it could. Yes. Or 12 even.
Maybe. Anyway, but then eventually we do get to the Battle of New York. Oh man, there's so much in this. So much in that fucking whole sequence. Get Ellie turn up out of nowhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. As a random waitress.
I didn't
Ashley
fully, as
Johnson.
in
Oh,
from
yeah.
Last of
Yeah.
Us.
Okay.
Yeah. The waitress that Cap saves is Ashley Johnson.
Cool.
She just turns up, and then there's like a bit at the end where they're interviewing her on the news.
Yeah.
For some reason, for the first two Avengers movies, they do that with just an innocent bystanding blonde woman.
Yeah.
For both Avengers movies. There's one in Age of Ultron as well.
There is,
It's
but
not Ashley Johnson, but
the weird thing for this to me, her voice is so
Ellie.
ingrained as my head as Ellie. Like, so I was
was
watching
weird.
it, and then just says, "Oh, Ellie's talking to me now about Captain America. What the fuck's happening? What kind of weird crossover is this? I'm on board for it, but what the fuck's
The
going
Last
on?"
of Us is set in the MCU.
Yeah. No Uncharted crossover, but a fucking Avengers one, yeah.
I mean, kind of. Tom Holland's in them later on.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Nathan Drake had a weird adventure. That's what happened.
And Nolan North plays Iron Man in the game. It's all coming together.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
Indeed.
But, oh, mate, so much stuff in this fucking thing. Obviously, you've got the obvious fucking, that's my secret cap, I'm always angry. That's fucking cool. Stark just working out how to fight everything as well before everyone. Oh, his whole thing where he comes into fucking Loki and the whole, like, I have an army. We have a Hulk.
Yeah.
And he's like, we may not be, like, strong enough to defend the Earth, but you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
man, it's
Great
fucking
line.
good. It's so good. Oh, it's great.
I think I'll have that drink now.
Yeah.
Well, too late, fucker.
Mate, there's so many good things. Like, like once you finally get all of them, because there's already some good little fight stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like Cap when he goes off, like lands on this like taxi or whatever, says to the police like, we need men in that building. You need to do this, do that, do this, do this. And this guy's like, what the fuck should I listen to you? And then just Shari drops down. He beats the shit
That
out of
made
him.
Lizzie laugh.
Not only
Yeah.
like beats him with ease, but he does it with fucking flair and style, right? Because he gets that last one, just bang. And just stands there for a bit, still looking down. It's cool fucking shot, like because I'm fucking badass. That's why. And then it's the cop like, all right, when you're men in our buildings, it's great, and it also makes sense.
It made me appreciate that whole sequence in Endgame more.
Yeah.
When they go back to that New York, and it just it really and stuff that like obviously different timelines, so it wouldn't be happening in the background, but you know what would be happening in the background on the alternate timeline. Just like, oh shit, that's together. Like in that, I'll have that drink now. It's like, fuck, Tony and Ant-Man are hiding behind that wall, like in that plant pot, like.
It's great. And Sammy's just like puny god. That whole fucking thing.
That's amazing.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and it's funny and chaotic and kind of out there, but it fits. You kind of don't question it. I think they've done such a good job of building the humor throughout this, and it's just like, so he's like, enough, like going on his round, and then because you don't see that, you just see him like drop out a shot. Yeah, it's like drops out a shot, bang, bang, bang. It's fucking so funny.
Yeah.
It is so good.
I love watching the behind the scenes of Tom Hiddleston trying to film the bit where he's lying in the crevice and doing the
Really?
Because he just keeps laughing. It's so funny.
I do like Tom Hiddleston.
No, he's great.
Obviously, you've got the incredibly iconic
Hulk.
That's not the shot.
No, we changed it. Sorry.
The circle shot.
Yeah.
And that's when you finally get. You've had all the teasers to the Avengers theme, but you get at that point.
Dun,
Like,
dun, dun, dun.
it's just like, it's just still so good. I've seen it so many times, and I know this gets better.
Yeah.
But God, it's so good.
That piece of music was used in one of the X-Men films. I cannot tell you which fucking one, but I know
Really?
for a fact it was.
It wasn't.
I'm sure it was. No, it fucking was. So I can remember watching X-Men going, I do recognise
There's
this.
probably something similar. It wasn't. It definitely is
I'm
not the
fucking
same
looking
piece
into
of
this.
music.
You do. We expect a.
'Cause that would have
report
been a
in Discord.
lawsuit. That would probably resulted in a lawsuit.
It probably would have resulted in time travel because the piece of music hadn't really been written yet. I'd imagine.
No, it's fucking. If it's not that, it's the same
There will
phrase.
be something
it's exactly
very
the
similar.
same phrase.
I've no doubt it's something very
Dun,
similar.
dun, dun.
Yes,
It was not the same piece of music.
I'm standing by this. I think it was.
And you're the only one.
I don't care.
This is why we're sending him to Dubai.
Yep.
Not fucking sending me.
He got
That's what
promoted.
We orchestrated the entire thing.
job.
Enslaving servitude.
There is literally nothing out there when you get there. It's literally just that we just said,
It's not even a real city. You guys have made it up.
But you got that shot. There's the fucking one when when Loki looks up at them. Loki looks up at them and they're all just standing over him with a fucking bow and like great iconic.
do you know what? I thought that was just a little bit cheesy. I thought that was just a little
Yeah, but
OTT.
it's a
Get the
superhero
fuck out of
film,
my
isn't
house.
it?
Yeah, but it's just
I said, get the fuck out of my house.
fine.
That
Leave you with
if
Charlie.
you're in Loki's position, you would start undoing your shirt.
Me and Richard Dubai.
That's what I keep saying. Just line them up. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I also like, they do a really good thing in this whole Battle of New York where Thor gets to him and Thor's fighting him and says like, look around you. Like, look at what you've done. And you even see Loki look around and be like, yep, I fucked up. But it's too late now, innit? Like, we're all in. Like, you
I think
guys
he was
see him.
playing. I don't think he actually felt
Oh, I don't know. No, I think Loki, like, all the way through, I always think Loki
That's why
just
he then
goes...
immediately just stabbed him and went, sentiment.
Yeah, but all the way through, Loki is still just kind of like, yeah, well, I've done it now, so I'm just going to go with it. He's always like that. I think that's how he is. He's
Make the
reckless.
best of any situation.
Yeah, just make the
For
best of any
himself.
situation for himself. Exactly that, yeah. Doesn't matter. He knows it's probably not like, his role isn't great, but I'll make it work. That's what I do. Yeah. Man, and as you say, we get the fucking one shot here.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
We haven't talked about the I'm always angry.
I started
Yeah.
to, and someone made a joke about something, and it got overshadowed.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, I'm
Sorry.
always angry. I was just like, same.
Except for I can't go all big all green.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. There you go. Sammy says Loki doesn't give a shit about humans and is a great actor. It's kind of his thing. Yeah, that's what. It's more the angle, I think. But yeah, that's my secret cap. I'm always angry. And people would. Well, I remember when this movie came. That doesn't make any sense. He turned by. That means he turned on purpose on the helicarrier. I was like, no, there's just two.
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
He can control it, but he can also be triggered.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very simple
a
explanation.
very simple, also a very logical one.
Yeah.
Very logical one. And like the end of the Hulk film already shows it that he can control it.
Yeah.
Like that's the last
Yeah.
shot of the film is him controlling it.
It's like, you know, you don't always immediately piss yourself when you need a piss. You do, but sometimes you might get to that point where you can't hold it anymore. That's the difference. That's what that was.
Basically, the Hulk is just a big piss.
After too many energy drinks.
He's just an external bladder as well.
Yeah.
Agreed. I don't know why I agree with myself.
That's what you always do.
True.
I just needed to fill the silence there, so I said something, and it just turned out to be agreed. There we
Oh,
are.
I'm fucking aching.
Fair.
Fair.
So what do we want to say about the Battle of New York?
Oh, it's fucking glorious.
Oh
Good,
my
isn't
god! From every
That's pretty standard, Jack.
second of it is top tier, absolutely top tier.
Yes,
Every
Sammy.
molecule.
So many great bits. So many good bits. Love it.
You got the one shot, Hulk punching Thor. You got the whole thing with it. I got a nuke coming in. I know just where to close it. He wants a monument with his name plastered on this son of a bitch, and then kicks off everything.
Yeah. Shawarma.
You got shawarma.
That whole bit as well. He's just
I
like
fucking
he's
love that
lying
shawarma.
there and then Hulk just roars at him. Yeah, that'd probably wake me up. Yeah. It'll probably literally bring me back to life, I reckon.
Yeah, you can just see the moment of defeat as well. It's like, well, we can't do CPR on him
Yeah.
because this suit is quite tough. If it wasn't, he would have made it this far.
Yeah.
But just everything. Black Widow clearly dying when she falls to her death when she jumps onto the roof of Stark Tower. All of those.
Yeah.
bits. The shot that inspires Kate Bishop when he leaps off
Yeah.
of the roof.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. Hawkeye's great.
Cool, innit?
I do going back in my mind to the start of that series, of the Hawkeye series, and seeing that scene play out was really, really cool. And watching it the other night was kind of like, oh yeah, obviously you've got it from that different angle from her window, and it's really, really greatly put. So,
There's a really great sequence in bit in this as well where I think it's one of the big fucking snake lizard things that's flying around is like going past an office building, and then you just hear commotion, and the camera turns around, and you can just see smashing, and Hulk's just charging through.
Yeah. That's really awesomely done.
It's
Yeah.
fucking great. It's so good. Just launches himself out. The way they choose to shoot that, with just almost like this handheld shaky cam, turn around like, what the fuck's going on over there?
Yeah, and then it's just oh crap.
real good.
Literally just blasting through and just jumping out at the thing. Awesome.
He does all that, and he gets the arm back having to take the stairs. Come on, man. You've done worse.
It's good. It is good. I fucking love this film, man. I think just the way they tie everything up and end it as well, with just like they're kind of going their own way, but they're not. They're all together. They just like, we have this thing now, and the shot of just Stark just like working out how he's going to rebuild the tower, and there's all this subtle stuff you can see on the map, on these like plans, that there's a room for each of them, and just this kind of like saying it's all that character development coming along of like, yep, he's on board, he gets it, like this team is good to have, and almost like he's found friends as well, and they've all just kind of found this friendship, and again, fucking Fury just telling the board for Shield like what he's just telling them what's going on. Like the Tesseract is going where it needs to go with someone.
Yeah, it's not your call to make. I didn't make the call. I just didn't argue with a god that did.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not currently tracking their whereabouts. I think they've earned a leave of absence. But they're all Hydra anyway, so.
Oh, yeah. But it's just, like, it's good. It's just all very good. Ends very well. That final shot of just now what is Avengers Tower. It's just like,
the A.
Yeah, the A being the only letter left. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just good. Everything about it is
There's
so
some good foreshadowing of that, of like every now and then they show a letter.
Yeah, just falling off.
Yeah, like...
It's beautiful. I remember, like, I think I've said before on the show that when these films first started to come out, you know, I wasn't big into this stuff. I was never big into the X-Men movies. I just wasn't. I was never really into the superhero thing. I never, like, I'd seen them, but wasn't like fixated.
Yeah, I liked like the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
that's about it.
You know, in these films, I started watching because Camilla's mum wanted to watch them because she liked Robert Downey Jr. That was all that happened there, and then she got into the film, so I started to get into the films. But I remember coming out of the cinema after this one was like, oh my god, this has changed me, and I think it does. It changed me as a man, like it's just and the thing is, like, I know from here on, like for a long while now, it's just gonna keep going up. There's a couple of dodgy movies, like the next one isn't quite as strong, or is it the one after? Which one is Thor 2?
The one after.
The one after.
Yeah.
Right, it's a couple of weeks at the bit. Just
To be fair, I don't know why I acted so strong.
Iron Man 3
strong.
then is the other one.
Yeah. It's not as strong as the Avengers.
Yeah.
Here we are.
But yeah,
I quite
like,
like it.
this franchise from here just like to what has been one of the best sort of movie experiences. Probably the best thing I've ever experienced is what we lead to with fucking the end of Phase 3. And
Yeah.
oh man, this is the start of it, and it's fucking great.
And it's like
Yes, I was, Hannah.
It's a good setup because like, we get
I wasn't.
we get
19.
other team up movies, obviously more Avengers, but we get like Civil War, and then of course we get No Way Home, and then a lot later down the line, obviously. But this is like the start of it. This film is what, but not only okay, yes, the audience do like it when we do the team ups. Let's do more of this, and they get better and better and better at it. And
Did you say it wasn't?
the start.
No?
No, I think you just
I was in agreement saying I was 19.
just affirming that's the age.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saf wasn't a teenager yet.
Lord.
Yeah, well, it just annoys me that Tomb...
Don't talk about Tomb.
Yeah, exactly. was 8. By the way, Tomb, I hope everything went well today with the chemistry exam.
On a Saturday. Have words with your school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll just say one thing that I just did think of as a one of those daft plot point things. But obviously the rift coming from that device, and obviously that she has to plunge the thing into it to actually the staff into the hole.
That didn't make it better.
I did think, right, well, that's on the side section of the Avengers Tower, or the Stark Tower. Surely they could have just demolished that part of the tower, and then it just falls, and then it will just...
I did wonder at one point why they can't just destroy the thing.
Because obviously there's force field around it, fine, but just destroy that section of the... Because it was out on a plinty bit. Yeah. Just destroy that
Would
bit.
it not just then they'd still say active, it just moved the portal to a different place?
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. They wouldn't.
Maybe it just, yeah, but in my mind, it works like one of those portable heaters that has a little thing on the underneath where it knows if it's flat, and if it falls over, it goes, no, I'm not going to work. No? Okay,
Basically,
just me.
What you're saying is there's a potential that Selvig built in a gyroscope
Yeah.
that was an auto power off. He did say he built in a fail-safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there was more than one. But anyway, it was just one of those daft things that I kind
Maybe
of
though
thought,
it's like one of those fucking like those weird inflatable things that you punch and then they always
Yeah, they
come back
come-
up again. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Indeed. Indeed.
Does anyone have anything else they want to specifically say about the movie?
I know that's why it happens, Hannah. Fucking hell. The idea with this would be so it doesn't destroy the planet. Sorry. Anyway.
That's fair enough. It's fine.
I understand. Yeah. Fully understand. It's great.
It's good.
Brilliant.
All right, how are we going to score this?
A solid 9.
I would agree.
Charlie, what
I'm
would
not
you
even going to
score
say
it
my joking 7.
I was going to say 9 because when we saw it was only 8 on IMDb. I was like, fuck, that's a 9 if there's anything. Like, so yeah, I'll go 9.
at? Really interesting because I was also thinking 9. But I
How
tell
do you
you
work this
what,
out?
do you know why I was thinking 9? Like only
because
because
it's not Endgame.
yeah,
there are better ones.
because Infinity War and Endgame are better.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah,
like
It's not
there
perfect if there's
yeah,
something
this
better.
can't be the top because I know there's something better, but I can't think of anything that stops it from being a 10 either at the same time. It's weird. Which then means why our 9 kind of works.
Not quite
Not
a
quite
10.
a 10.
Because this film is not quite a 10, it's a 9.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like, I think it's an obvious, like...
I've forgotten what was Captain America last week.
6.
6. Okay, yeah.
So it's quite the jump.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite the jump, which obviously agree with. So obviously ranking, this is going to be a very short conversation. 29.
Spend too much time together. Yeah, obviously.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to stay 1 for a while.
Good for you.
Did you say you gave Captain America a 6?
Yeah.
So, but it's 4th in the rankings of all of them. It's 4th for the ones you've done so far. Sorry, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's not
My
permanent.
apologies. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, my apologies.
This is not going to stay 4th. Good lord.
Yeah.
It will.
I
eke
imagine
down.
it could very well be 29th.
Yeah.
No.
Correct, Sammy. We do not like the Hulk that much. That will stay there for some time. Probably just
I
stay
actually
there.
enjoyed the Hulk.
I imagine it will stay there.
But Jack and I were scoring that episode,
Oh, no.
and we didn't like it.
I'm not a fan.
There are a couple of movies that might slip in underneath, but that's why we put it there because I don't think there is.
Well, I know you're not a big fan of Guardians 2, but
It's not that bad.
yeah. Jack just doesn't get on with the humour of it. I think mainly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, Guardians 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we'll do that one in a couple of
I don't
weeks.
get on with the humour of the Incredible Hulk in that there isn't any either.
I
but
swear,
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Sammy.
That we're not here to talk about Hulk. We did a whole episode on that, and you missed it. That's on you. All right. You can go
I
back
was
and
there.
watch it on YouTube, and you
I
can
was
leave your
there.
little comments.
were.
That's fine.
You were?
the only
Not
one thing
here,
I've got to
But
say
it's in
about that-
30. All right.
Say again.
So the only one thing I've got to say about it is I swear everyone goes on about Edward Norton. He's been in like 2 good films.
And those are
What?
what 2 films?
For me, Fight
Club.
Club and American History X.
Birdman.
I've not seen it.
Fair.
I haven't seen both.
Glass Onion.
I've not seen it yet.
No, because it's not out yet.
I'm in cinemas now.
Technically,
Oh, well, it has been out in
Yeah,
cinemas.
yeah.
It disappeared. and
So
then-
this is a dumb question. We're confirming it's number 1, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool, fine. Number 1 for the Avengers. Ah, what a fucking film.
he's been in Modern Family.
He was in Modern Family.
Really?
Yeah, he was in a He was just in a random episode.
I still really
I've
need
seen
to
all
watch
the
that.
Modern
But
Family. I must have just noticed it was him.
I don't remember that.
He was that weird, awkward bassist.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Of course that's him, yeah. I didn't speak at the time, that was him.
He's supposed to be the bassist of Spandau Ballet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see, for me, one of his a really great film that he is in, Grand Budapest Hotel. But everybody knows my opinion on that film. So
Amazingly, yesterday I saw the December 16th episode.
What?
Of what?
of Modern Family, I
Modern
assume?
Family. That makes a lot of sense. Is there a December 16th
I
episode?
don't know. What's the
Apparently.
December 16th episode?
No, I don't really have context. I'm assuming you were talking about Modern Family, but I don't know what that is. Despite the fact that I've seen it all multiple
I
She'll
assume
tell us in a minute.
there is an episode based on December 5th,
Must be.
16th. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good Modern Family.
I do
Like,
think
love
my two favourite Modern Family episodes that I can remember off the top of my head, for two different reasons as well. It's one where they end up going to Las Vegas,
Yeah, that's funny.
and there's some fucking funny, like Phil's trying to do perform a magic trick to get into like magician's circle.
Yeah,
or something,
yeah,
and like
it's amazing.
Gloria in the cupboard. Man, it's fucking hilarious. And the other one, which is really good, is the one where it's all filmed on iPads with
Oh, really?
her mum on the computer. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Claire on the computer screen
At the
because they're looking
airport,
for
yeah.
Haley.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
they think
that's
Haley's
funny.
gone off to get married to Andy, and it's all just filmed.
What, as in it's like your...
It's
the
all
iPad.
like
FaceTime.
It's all
call.
done like
yeah.
There was a film made like that
Yeah, there
about
was,
a
yeah,
missing
it was-
girl.
Yeah, searching.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
There's a
Searching
film
there.
called Unfriended or something that was like
Oh,
that
really?
as well.
Okay.
It's really good, and all of the actual stuff is filmed on iPads and iPhones because it's as if
That's
they're
interesting.
FaceTime calls. They actually filmed it on iPads and iPhones. It's really,
Oh, okay.
really good episodes. Some funny gags in there,
Sounds
great
clever.
plot, and it's all just this sort of screen recording from a Mac. It's real clever.
They have an express Christmas as everyone...
Oh, I remember.
I
that
do remember,
episode,
yeah.
Yeah, I realise no one's together on Christmas, so they just do it on
There and then. Okay, fair enough.
December 16th. Yes, well, this has been Admit One. I haven't done a rigmarole in ages, and we're not starting now.
You're going back to Cat.
Avengers!
You're not allowed to say assemble for like 6 months.
I'm not
now.
going to say anything.
Oh, oh.
I'm going to say arse. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be back in a few minutes with our big end of year show. This is really difficult with this on because I can't see shit.
We'll be back with our end
There
of
you go.
year show. Best game, best TV show, best movie. We're going to be talking for a while, I imagine, and then we have another surprise, even a surprise for us as well.
Jack, by the way, there is you've got you need to end this bit with the appropriate Iron Man bass line. Just need to work.
What?
You'll work it out. Come on, think about it. What did he say at the end of this film?
Now you put him on the spot.
Oh, what's wrong?
I keep
Yes,
hitting-
Charlie. Thank you. God damn it.
Oh, shawarma.